This blog is to respond to questions that were raised when we had the Dean's Luncheon in Regina and also in Saskatoon. I've been a week in getting this response back to those of you in Regina who were expecting to hear from me, because it has taken a little bit of time to get the feedback to answer your questions. I do want to say that, again, I thank all of you in Regina for braving the elements that day when we had the luncheon. The weather was terrible. The airport was shut down. I actually spent the night in Regina due to the weather, so thank you for being there. To respond to the questions that came up, the first one was in relation to job fairs, and that students were aware that in Saskatoon there were often job fairs held, but not necessarily made aware when there were ones being held in Regina, or if there in fact were going to be any held there. We did find out that there's actually going to be a career fair that's going to be held on February the 7th, and it's going to be at the, I think it's pronounced the Connexus Art Center from 9:30 to 3:30. And Dr. Smaydew in Regina has asked Mark Tomtine to put that on the website so that you should be able to get that. There is a bus that leaves from Wascana campus every half hour to take students over to the event, and but as well, students are free to attend on their own. So I wanted to make sure that you did have that information, and that you also, if you don't remember from the blog, it will be on the website for you. We don't always sort of know well in advance of when those career days are going to happen, and we don't always know who's organizing them. So we will do the best we can to make sure that when there is something, that will keep you aware of it. The second question that was raised in Regina was in relation to the Senior Assist program, and when you would be receiving information on how to apply to participate in that, and what was going to happen at the Regina site. So this information is only for those students in Regina, not in Saskatoon. And Pat Christie, who is your clinical coordinator in Regina, and Joan Gardner, who is our provincial clinical placement coordinator, did meet with Jeanette Aschenbrenner from the Regina Capel Health Region Human Resources. And she didn't know exactly when the information session was going to be held for the Regina site, or how that was exactly being handled today. But that if you just watch for a notice about an information session regarding the Senior Assist program, we will make sure that we post that and make it available to you as soon as we have it. So Dr. Smaydew is aware in Regina that you are getting anxious to have that information, as is Pat Christie. Hopefully it will be in February, and if you do need additional information about the Senior Assist program, then please contact Pat Christie at the Wascana campus. There was a question that was asked about the $25 reimbursement, that the perception is that only students in Saskatoon are going to receive the $25 credit, and the places listed were on-site Saskatoon campus venues. We have had a lot of say into that decision. There's not a final outcome on it yet, but we did raise it at the Dean's Council for the entire university, and at that point I made it clear that we do not make any distinction between Regina, Prince Albert, and Saskatoon. We are one college, and our students are treated the same way across all three sites from a policy perspective. We also have talked directly with the Student Center and with the administrative faculty or staff there. So everyone has heard our concerns, and it is my expectation that we will see an outcome that is satisfactory to all of us from this process. It also has raised questions about other types of students who are off campus and were during the strike. But my goal is that we treat all three campuses equally. So we don't have an end result to the $25 issue as yet, but the intent is that we do the best thing possible for all students for the best outcome. So again, I think that you can take that as a positive outcome in terms of how the university is trying to approach this. Another question that was asked in Regina was, is the faculty moving to the U of R site? You do take classes at U of R now, and that there was some understanding that the faculty would be moving there in August. The whole issue of space, as those of you who live it there know that it is creating some significant challenges for us. The increase of 120 seats over the next year within the 3 sites and 49 increased seats for nursing students in Regina does have its challenges both for the SciAst faculty and for U of S. You're correct in your understanding that there have been discussions about moving to the U of R. We want to be very sure before we make that move that that is also an acceptable site for our faculty to have their offices, and that the right space is put in place for it. So we are working very closely with the U of R, with SciAst, and the First Nations University of Canada to make sure that we do the best we can to maximize space and to ensure that there's room for students to be in the appropriate classrooms with the right size seating, as well as our faculty to have the appropriate offices. So as soon as we know more, we'll keep you informed as well. It will not affect you this term, but in the fall of coming back into 4th year, you may see some differences. But again, at this point, there's nothing that is a final decision on that